Cleveland Cavaliers didn't need a world championship to stage a celebration. Just making the playoffs was a tremendous accomplishment. They are led by a guard who legally changed his name to World Be Free. And nobody, such as forward Roy Hinson, are on the verge of becoming somebody. In Game 1, they came within a three-point play of forcing Boston into overtime. The Boston Celtics won their 15th World Championship last year. To the winners, go the spoils. And now Larry Bird and the Celtics will attempt to negotiate that minefield, win back-to-back NBA championships. No team has done it since 1969. And the Cleveland Cavaliers are the first roadblock to hanging another banner. The April sunshine brings that promising sparkle to the Charles River, but Bostonians know that spring is here when the Celtics drive toward another NBA championship. And back in 1969, the center on that Celtic team was Bill Russell. He was also the coach. The last NBA championship team to win back-to-back titles. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger. Who better to ask than Russ? What does it take to win again?
You have to force the issue.
One victory to none. They'll play the winner of Detroit and the New Jersey Nets if they win this series. Pleasure for me this year to be working live here at the Boston Garden. The Celtics and the Cavaliers, Game 2. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for this meeting. George Karl, 2 years ago, he was with Great Falls out in the Continental Basketball League. The forwards, Hinson and Hubbard, both strong, and Cummers. West, a shot blocker, doesn't score much. His scoring will come from the backcourt, Bagley and Free. For K.C. Jones and the defending world champions, well, that's the MVP right there. Bird and McHale starting, of course, because Maxwell's still out with an injured knee. Parrish is the center. Johnson's the defensive specialist. He'll work next to Ainge in the backcourt. The officials today, O'Donnell, Middleton, and Capers. The alternate, he will sit over there at the scorer's table. And we're set to go. And Gilby, when I mentioned that first game was 126-123, two things surprised me. It was as close as that, and the Cavaliers got as many points as they did.
Well, first, during the course of the season, the Cavaliers only scored 107 in 6 games against the Celtics. But they up-tempoed the game. They honestly feel that they can beat the Celtics down the floor in a transition game, which is quite surprising. And then their front court people dominated the Celtics over the 48 minutes of play.
Celtics will control. Ainge, injured right side, re-injured it in Game 1. Didn't practice yesterday. Came out here earlier today for the shoot-around and said, I'm fine. Deflected away. They were trying to get him backdoor. Free. Bagley, the point guard. Hubbard could be the MVP of this Cavalier team, and he hits the first field goal for them.
Well, they're going to test Hubbard's range because he is a notorious workaholic who is always open, but he does not hit that shot consistently.
Here's Parrish playing the back, misses his first shot. McHale has it stripped.
Well, let's face it, the other night the Chief was not in the game. He only had 5 opportunities. You can see they're really going to him early. Dennis Johnson. Cavaliers won an up-tempo game, and they've got it right now. Big factor in this game and in this series will be Dennis Johnson versus World Free. World Free with a groin pull is going to be posted up maybe 10 to 15 times in this game, and they're going to force him to work.
Free coming down. McHale got all ball steps out of bounds.
The Cleveland staff feels that World Free can take anyone who plays him off the dribble. They'll open up either the right side or left side of the floor, allow him to go one-on-one. Unfortunately, though, Boston has the great rotation shot blocker.
Here's Hinson powering in. Now, this is a player you may not have heard much about, but he's going to be a big factor as this series unfolds. He's a #1 draft choice out of Rutgers, and he has matured into one of the better forwards in the NBA. And Hubbard Hubbard jumps out and fouls Bird.
That was a good foul, in my opinion, due to the fact that Bird had already beaten Hubbard off the dribble, and what they're trying to do is to get Larry Bird out of the creating part of the game. Do not let him dribble into the lane area and dish off and open up other people.
DJ. Henson was backing up for a rebounding position, and Parrish, coming in from behind, picks up his second person.
In game one, Cleveland's defensive thinking is to allow the player to pick up his dribble and then fall off. And in game two, here today, we're seeing that early. They're going to force the outside shooting by the Celtics.
Bagley was open short. And that's the first personal against Cleveland, and that's West. And he frequently gets into foul trouble for Carl.
Well, West is expendable because they have so much size on the bench. They're telling him to use his fouls, use his body on McHale, and don't worry about fouling out.
And the Celtics must be concerned about those two on Parrish, with Maxwell, of course, not 100% because of the injured knee. Here's Parrish inside, drew the foul, and he'll come to the free throw.
Speaking with the Cleveland staff, they honestly believe that anytime the ball goes into the post, they will double team either Parrish or McHale or Bird. But if Bird is the passer, they will stay at home with him and try to double with someone else from a different area.
Underway. 9:45 left here in the first period in the Boston Garden. Hubbard coming in was short. Parrish outlet. Here's Ainge. Quickly to McHale. Slapped away by Henson beautifully.
And that's what we talked about at the top of the show. They have the shot blocking ability.
And Hubbard comes into the layup.
This is where the Celtics are the most dangerous. When you score in getting the ball up the floor and shooting within a 5 to 6 second count.
Johnson goes about 3 rows deep trying to save that out of bounds.
I think it's interesting, Brent, that Cleveland is so confident. The staff has instilled in their ball club that they can run the ball back at the Celtics and beat them from circle to circle.
Turned it over. Carl unhappy with the call. The Celtics are 0 of 6 from the field. They start sluggish. Just 2 free throws on the board right now. And here comes their main man.
Well, that they're playing is two-man basketball. They're using Parrish and Bird, and in our series with them 6 times this year, that was one of their favorite plays. You cannot double team either man, and most of all, you cannot allow Larry to get the open jumper.
Jump hook by Henson. West rebounds.
What he did was he backed Parrish under the board on that shot, and Parrish was looking for a loose ball foul.
Very quickly, 2 of 2, you will notice on his right elbow. You see that pad he's wearing? He has been bothered by a hyperextension.
Well, I tell you though, Brent, Phil Hubbard knows that he must make him put the ball on the floor.
3 comes back for the Cavaliers.
Well, World is one of the best players in this league at elevating off the dime. He has that ability to come into the lane, stop and elevate high and get the shot over the top over larger players.
Celtics ball, Hubbard with a handoff.
That time Cleveland double-teamed Bird, and they're not worrying about the cutters going through. It'll be interesting to see if Bird can pick them up. Boston feels that Kevin McHale can take either West or Lonnie Shelton low. And let's face it, McHale has the long reach and the fadeaway jumper.
West maneuvering inside to help 3 out.
Well, Well, I don't know. That was a close call, Brent. That was an excellent pick. Now it's debatable whether or not it was moving. Dennis Johnson really rammed the pick. He's telling the pick man, look, the next time you know that, you know I'm going to hit you hard.
Parrish to the top.
Well, we've been reading in the papers, Brent, for 2 days, where was Robert Parrish? But I think he's establishing early that he's going for it.
Hinson misfiring. Parrish outlet to aim. Dennis Johnson jumps it inside.
Here they come again. We have a 4-on-2.
Hinson again. That time he eased up, and he probably should have powered it in.
See, with Bagley and World 3 pushing the ball, they feel that they can get the open shot.
Our situation. Now, how about the NBA playoff results from last night? Well, Milwaukee took a 1-0 lead, and Sidney Moncrief was magnificent. Did you see the highlights of that game? Dick Stockton and Tommy Heinsohn will cover Game 2 tomorrow afternoon on CBS. Now, also last night, an upset, and perhaps the first one in the opening round. Utah over Houston. Adrian Dantley with a big game for Coach Layden there. And I understand that now in Game 2, with about 20 seconds to go in overtime, Portland leads Dallas 120 to 118. That's their second overtime game in that series. And again, there are 20 seconds to be played. Trailblazers lead it by a field goal. We'll get the final to you just as soon as it becomes official. Dennis Johnson brings it up for the Celtics.
You see how far World 3 is laying off the passer now.
McHale. Celtics lead. They've hit their last 5 field goals.
Well, Mark West must challenge the shot a little bit better than that. He's an excellent shot blocker, and he cannot allow McHale to just shoot it without any form of pressure.
Free. Was fouled.
You know what I find interesting, Brent? This is the 4th time down the floor that Cleveland has posted up covered on Larry Bird. Now, an awful lot of people might say, my gosh, Bird is one of the real strong defensive players in the league. But they are confident that Bill Hubbard, his active body, can definitely post him up.
QB, what happens now with Shelton coming in as a substitute and West out?
Well, what you get is muscle. You're getting an experienced player who is a guy who's been in many pressure situations. But more important, he's going to put his body into the game. But let's face it, Lonnie's with a severely damaged knee, and he has an awful lot of swelling.
He put his body into that one. And Johnson came down on it.
Let's face it, when Shelton fouls you, Brent, you know you're fouled. We call that lane intimidation. And if you want to go down that lane for the rest of the night, you're going to think about it, because he's going to make sure that you do not score the three-point play.
They say that basketball is not a contact sport, but you never know it if you watch just one NBA playoff game.
Well, Dennis Johnson is one of the best free throw shooters in the league. Always 84 or better, 84%. And once again, now here we have good backcourt pressure by Danny Ainge, and Cleveland using a big man to allow Bagley to rub his man off.
Bagley, a former #1 out of Boston College. Good point guard. Has matured this year a lot. Parrish was being held by Hinson. He just absolutely grabbed him. And that's his second person.
Now that's going to force George Karl to think here a little bit. Now right here, watch Free drop off his man. Hinson did not have to do that in that situation. But let's face it, he's working extremely hard because he does not want Parrish to post him at the dotted line in the lane. But if you notice, you see how far Free dropped off of Dennis Johnson. And we're going to see that through this entire game. They're going to force them to thread the needle.
Mel Turpin, #1 draft choice when they acquired that big trade before the season, was the big center down at Kentucky for Joe B. Hall. And they have not been totally satisfied with his progress this season. We'll see how he makes out here in the playoffs.
Well, when they had to make the substitution in game 1, Brent, Boston immediately had 7 offensive shot rebounds within a 5-minute span, forcing George to take Turpin out.
Johnson goes the length of the floor, drives right in behind him, and it's 18-14 Celtics. Bad defense. That's one underway, 2 out west. Lakers leading the injury-riddled Phoenix Suns. World B missing. And battling back was Hubbard with the left hand.
For all the young players out there watching, please zero in on the great defense that Dennis Johnson is putting on World Free and forcing him to work hard off of the picks.
3-second violation. It'll go over to the Cavaliers. They can tie it this trip, and that's 4 turnovers by the Celtics here in the first quarter. We've got a timeout in the Boston Garden. 4:46 to go, and the Celtics lead the Cavaliers 18-16. Celtics shooting 50%, and they've hit their last 6 shots after missing their first 6. Cavaliers are 7 of 17, or 41% for Karl.
But I think George Karl is extremely happy with the tempo right now, Brent. They are getting the shots that they want. The ball just has not dropped for them. They're getting inside of the paint area. But the thing that they must do is loosen up free to get some open shots.
Bagley. Rebound doesn't go in. That score you just saw. 2 seconds left with the Blazers ahead. Shade on the turnover. Bagley. Try to get to the middle now. Comes around to get it. Turpin. Bounces off of Johnson. Misses the shot. Offensive rebound by Hubbard.
You have to give Cleveland credit. Their front court people are not intimidated by the Boston Garden or the physical punishment which is dealt by the Boston Celtics on a night-in and night-out basis. Here we have a clear out for Bird.
Through the foul, Hubbard unhappy.
Well, Hubbard's unhappy, and Eddie Middleton's unhappy also because Hubbard is making him look bad. You know, a young fellow like Hubbard is trying to establish defensive credibility here in this game on Bird, and any time that you get up and challenge the shot and chest the man, and with your hands up straight, you're hoping that the incidental contact will go by unnoticed. Unfortunately for Hubbard, he's working extremely hard, but he is guarding, you know, Mr. MVP. That time we saw John Bagley do a beautiful move in freeing himself to get the pass on the inbound ball. Here they are again, going for Hubbard on a post-up for Bird.
Nice fake. Through the foul from Johnson, and I thought Hubbard might have moved into it.
I agree with you. See, Dennis Johnson is saying, now wait a second. Do we have a makeup going here or what? A definite movement by Hubbard into Johnson, who really held his position.
That's now a final, and Portland evens up that series with the Mavericks, 124-121, and both the first 2 games go overtime, and now they head back to 12,666 screaming partisans in Portland for the next 2. They might go 5 in that one, Hugh.
Oh, I think so. Now here is the zone press, a 2-2-1 zone press by Cleveland, but they do not take it all the way out with the hard trap.
Third offensive rebound.
Offensive rebound. Anytime a team full court presses you, 3/4 court presses, and the shot comes out, you always are vulnerable to the offensive rebound. This is where the Celtics hurt you the most. You get them to take the bad shot, but they burn you.
Shelton back this in.
Well, with this group in right now, Shelton and Turpin are offensive threats facing the basket for Cleveland.
DJ loses control. Ball on the floor, and you know he's got it.
The garbage man, he's everywhere. He has an incredible nose for the ball.
Turpin coming through.
That time Turpin caught Parrish loafing back and received a beautiful pass. But it's what we said. Their Cleveland staff is confident that they can run the ball back at the Celtics.
McHale's fall away.
one of the prettiest shots in basketball, Brent. You can be 7'1", 7'2", and you're not going to get that shot. The man is 6'11" with long arms.
Bagley. Bird rebounding, outlet intercepted Bagley. Coming down in the middle of the 8th lead chain. Pretty play.
Larry Bird was injured on that play. He received a blow to the area that he has the bandage on, and he definitely went down. Bird shows no pain ever at any time, so you know he's hurt.
Left-handed shot that time. Got the rebound back. Drew the foul, comes to the line.
Bird is definitely agitated. He feels that he was bumped twice on that move to the basket. But at the other end of the floor, you will very seldom ever see Bird show pain. Now he knows he's injured. Here he is, he's being held. Now watch the double team come back down inside. And there he is at his best. There are very few people in the league who want the offensive rebound as much as Larry Bird.
6 rebounds already. And now 12 points. For a man who many say, outside of centers, may be the best who ever played this game.
Cleveland has their jumbo team in there right now.
And Jumbo Turpin just traveled.
You know, anytime you can put Moquette, Turpin, and Shelton on the floor at the same time, you are talking size, shot blocking, and beef.
The 747 group. Davis is working at guard. Johnny Davis. Bird, short. Bagley gets a rebound. Quick pass to Davis. Here's Poquette. Shelton with a hand on it. Davis retrieves for the Cavaliers. Good move inside.
Well, Johnny Davis can definitely take Ainge off the dribble. I think the reason why George made that substitution is because they were running an awful lot of sets for World, but he wasn't getting open.
Ray Williams, the former Knick, missing.
Oh,
Bird tried to get the Parrish back inside.
Oh, what a gorgeous pass that was. Well, right now you'll see Larry Bird rebounding here. Now there was the hit right there, and it came from a big man. Totally accidental.
But when we talk about the Celtics repeating, you have to consider that physically they are not nearly as well off as they were a year ago. Maxwell with the injured knee, not 100% at all. Now Bird has the injured elbow. Ainge has the damaged thigh. So this is a team that could have used a week off.
Oh, no doubt about that, Brent. Except injuries are a part of it all, and we all know that's one of the main reasons that it's so difficult to repeat in the NBA today.
Williams, three-pointer was off. He's 0 for 2. Bird with a hand on it, out of bounds, Cavaliers.
You know what was interesting? The Celtics had 4 men on the offensive board, and if they could have outletted that pass, Cleveland had a 4-on-1 at the other end. Here's another pick and roll. This is the 5th pick and roll that Cleveland has tried within this first quarter of the game. Unfortunately for them, nothing is happening because the Boston guards are fighting over the top of it and showing us great defense.
That's the first on Ainge. Last 21 seconds of the opening quarter.
Johnny Davis, an 86% foul shooter, and an excellent foul shooter throughout his entire career.
And he draws Cleveland even.
What more?
Well, I think we've seen, Gilby, that just what you've been pointing out all along. The Cavaliers are not intimidated by the Celtic mystique at all.
Now watch how far off the guard Johnny Davis is playing off of Ray Williams. They are forcing the guards to pick the ball up and shoot.
Turnover. Davis at the buzzer. So we've come to the end of the first quarter. We're tied.
Oh, listen, if I'm a Cleveland fan and I'm on a coaching staff, I love this tempo.
But you're a New York Knicks coach.
That's why we're doing this game on TV.
Gibby, we're back, and what do you make of the fact that the Cavaliers had 27 shooting attempts and the Celtics 21?
Well, it's definitely on the offensive board, Brent. Cleveland has 8 points in second efforts. I like the shots they're getting inside of the lane. The trouble is right now, they're missing, but it's encouraging because it's there for them as we progress through the ball game.
McHale, Bird, Ainge, Williams, and Scott Wedman on the floor for the champions. Turpin moves inside McHale, and Bird came for the weak side, and Turpin powers back.
That was an excellent defensive play by Larry Bird, but quick recovery. And the old story in the NBA, when you pick the ball up in the lane, always dunk the ball. Show authority.
Turpin with a hand on it. They get it back to Bird. Wedman. Turpin rebounding. Goes to the floor. Williams with the loose ball. Hits the layup.
That was a real fine double team by Wedman and Ray Williams. See, that's the second ball that Turpin has lost now in the backcourt. And we should look at that because they must feel that they can strip him.
Jump hook. Ainge in the middle. Challenging. Shelton. Outlet for Davis. Bird is there. Pull up. Off Coquette. Wedman to run it down. Bird.
Well, that time by the Celtics, McHale running to the low hole, low box area. He forced Cleveland to make a decision. Turpin took the low man, opening Bird up out on the wing. But it was a 4-on-3 fast break. Excellent anticipation by Ray.
Behind his back to Wedman.
See, that time, Lonnie Shelton recovered in transition defense, cut Ray off and forced Ray to go and make an unselfish play that time. That was a beautiful pass by Ray.
Buckner in, and Ainge sits down. What's your feeling about Williams, Shuby? You had him, and several times you disagreed with him with the Knicks. Can he help this team down here?
Oh, absolutely. Ray Williams has great athletic talent, and fortunately for the Celtics, he does not have to be a starter, and he does not need to give them the great 30 minutes night in and night out. They are fortunate to have 5 veteran players here who have been down the road. So when you pick up a player for 25 games, he has the, how should I say, the physical ability. He's not tired. He's coming in a healthy situation, and he's an excellent basketball player to begin with.
And Davis burned him with his first step that time, getting past and going in for the layup.
Well, Johnny Davis has one of the best first steps of the smaller guards that we have in the league.
Edgar Jones, number 44, drawing Larry Bird right now.
Great shots that we have in the game today. It really is. It's beautiful to watch, but it's more beautiful to watch 2 hours before the game as Larry Bird shoots for an hour, night in and night out. And that's how he has perfected that fadeaway.
Into Turpin, who was fouled. Wedman on him. Did you notice how Turpin kept coming with the field goal in hopes of getting the continuation?
That was a beautiful pump fake.
Legends of the NBA, the greats remember. Sponsored by Schick.
Naturally, I think I excelled in some areas.
What about the Bullets and the 76ers? The Sixers won game 1. Could the Bullets battle back?
Well, I'll tell you, though, Brent, going into the last 3 to 4 minutes of the game, Washington was ahead by as many as 5. And then in the last 9 possessions, Philadelphia turned them over 7 times. The majority of the plays, they were trying to post up Rulin low, and in that period, Moses Malone either had 4 or 5 steals. And then the old Philadelphia, what they do best, as good as anyone, the fast break, and they end it with a score at the other end. They turn your mistakes into quick field goals.
So here in the Boston Garden with 9:34 to go in the first half, the Celtics leading the Cavaliers 38-36.
Oh, it's a backdoor.
Beautiful play.
There it is. Now we watched them put that play in yesterday. They're relying on the Boston guards to defense and pressure in the backcourt, and what they do is they shoot an offensive man in behind, and they backdoor that point guard. That was beautiful. That was planned and definitely put in yesterday. See how far off he's playing? Three. He's defying Ray Williams to shoot the ball.
Parrish comes down to baseline. Poquette rejected. Wedman runs it down. And as Parrish went up, loose ball foul against the Celtics. It's going over to the Cavaliers, and that is on Robert Parrish now, number 3.
Well, you know, you were talking 3 big bodies that time in there, Brent. But what you had to like was the shot blocking ability of Cleveland.
Here's where the absence of Maxwell really hurt when you get 3 fouls from somebody like Parrish.
Well, they're going to come right back now, though, with McHale.
So McHale comes in. Parrish will have to leave. And Dennis Johnson also comes in, so Buckner will sit down. And that moves Wedman up to forward in this lineup. McHale the center, and Bird, of course, the other forward. And Williams and Johnson operating in the backcourt.
See, I find it interesting, Cleveland's philosophy in this game. That was another lob pass versus Larry Bird's man. They have made up their mind that they are going to go at Bird, and that is the 6th time now that they've run a post-up or a lob.
Edgar Jones, they knew they were going for Larry Bird. He anticipated, and it got to the lane. 3.
He needed that one. He needed that one to get on track. I'm really impressed with the defensive rotation by Cleveland inside of the painted area in the lane.
Bird. Turpin. Gets to Davis. Clear out. Free stays deep. Williams. Bird moves to Johnson. Williams to Bird. Inside the DJ, who's been out of bounds and stepped back.
Larry Bird, 2 excellent, basic, fundamental passes, but they were made. But you have to give Cleveland a little bit of credit there. They rotated beautifully, and the man was definitely effective on his drive to the basket.
Jones. Rejected by Poquette. Jones to save it. Here comes Free. Davis to Turpin.
Unselfish basketball. But once again, that is the 3rd shot block on a driving layup that Boston honestly thought they were going to score, and the shot block was there creating the fast break.
Cavaliers are looking the champions right in the eye, aren't they? 3rd round is now concluded at Hilton Head, and Bernard Langer, the winner of the Masters, leads Dan Edwards by a stroke. You know who the last golfer was to win the week following the Masters? Well, it was Gary Player back in 1978. He won the Masters, the TPC, then he made it a triple, capturing a tournament in Houston. And so tomorrow you'll see the final round of the Heritage Classic right here after our coverage of NBA playoff action on CBS. Most of you, of course, again, will see Chicago, Milwaukee. The rest of you will see Philadelphia, Washington. So the Celtics in a scrap, and I don't think the fans here in Boston quite expected this. Williams.
The Boston guards must show that they are going to accept the challenge of the Cleveland guards backing away from them. They're going to have to shoot the shot and show some offense.
Inside to Jones. Beautiful block by McHale, backing up to help out. Bird. 18 first-half points.
Edgar Jones stayed at the defensive end of the floor that time. At the offensive end of the floor rather than get back and pick up Bird.
Cavaliers ball with 6:15 to go, and Henson returning. Jones, who turned in some quality minutes, sits down.
Well, I think that George Karl might be a little bit bit perturbed because the player had the shot blocked, and then he decided not to chase his offensive man at the other end of the floor. And unfortunately, it cost him a big field goal.
Cedric Maxwell for the first time this afternoon. Redmond leaves, and again he underwent arthroscopic surgery. The feeling on the part of Casey Jones is that he returned to the lineup too quickly after that surgery and re-injured himself a little bit. You've been talking about the Boston Guards. They're only 4 of 13 here in the first half. Well, Henson simply cut out of there. So
well, he did. He was worried about the 3-second call, Brent, and unfortunately, Johnny Davis had already committed the pass.
Johnson.
See that shot blocking attempt by Hinson? Dennis Johnson, he knew he had World beat, but he didn't realize that Hinson was there.
Hinson didn't have control. Foul called underneath, however, so the Cavaliers get a break that time.
For all the young guards who are sitting out there watching this game, you have to admire the Cleveland guards because on every double team by the Boston Celtics, whether it is World Free or Johnny Davis, over the last 7 or 8 minutes, they are finding the free man. They are not forcing any shots, and they're saying, look, team ball is going to get it done here in the Boston Garden today. And you have to be impressed by that fact.
Again.
All right, they're in a 1-3-1 half-court trap. They're gambling for the first pass. See, the Celtics are murdered. Ray just took that off the dribble. Nice penetration, took the trap, and then found the free man.
Reed backing in. Hubbard hands back to Worldby. Maxwell switches, and 3 goes up over.
I noticed Maxwell winced that time as he tried to step out and put pressure on the bad knee. That's why World was open at that time.
Cavaliers pulling it. Pass the ball back to McHale.
That was a great defensive play by Ray Williams because if the pass would have cleared Ray, they had a 3-on-1 at the other end.
Offensive foul.
Solid call by Ed Middleton. Hubbard flashed into the lane, and he was there, but he wiped the defensive player out. That was an excellent call by Eddie Middleton.
Bird.
Oh, my. Ben Boquet could not have rotated any better than that. That was a sensational shot.
Go to New York for a preview. Pat?
Thank you very much, Brent. Our playoff home, as a matter of fact, will be in our playoff mode at the half as we bring you up to date with you, Brent.
Gibby, let's take a look at this great play by Larry Bird.
Well, you'll see Bird, take his man off the... watch Boquet come right out there and go for the shot block. Now, that was a dipsy-do. Now, that's something that you don't go out and you practice every day. That one is you're making it under pressure of the moment. The degree of difficulty above 10.
Just when you think you've seen everything in his bag of tricks, he'll come up with something new, won't he? They didn't call traveling on Henson.
Well, I'll tell you, I like the way he's going to the basket. In game 1, he was able to beat McHale quite a few times and then go for the collar dunk. He tried that time, but he was a little bit short, came up short.
Bird had 20 points in the first half of the opening game. He's got as many here. Offensive foul.
See, what we have going for us right now, Brent, are the Cleveland guards are outscoring the Boston guards 20-10. But the psychological factor is that they're dropping so far off them that they're putting a lot of pressure on them to make the shot or create the pass. Well, it's difficult to make the pass if you're laying off me so far.
Hale's first personal. He's got 3:57 half. Free gets inside, sends it back to Davis. He wasn't open.
Cavaliers ball. You know what I find interesting about that? Now, they have cleared the side. I have it down here now 6 times. And they are not getting anything out of it, Brent. Bree is going off the dribble, beating his man, getting double teamed, and nothing is happening. And it'll be interesting to see if they stay with it.
Well, they sent Bagley back to work with him at guard. Now he gets outside without a clear out and puts it down.
Well, I think Dennis was a little surprised that he shot that one in his face.
Comes right back. Hinson rebounded. Stopped by Bird. Hinson. Turn around. McHale with a hand. Loose. Celtics. Williams. Flips to Johnson.
We definitely had 2 fouls. One at the other end of the floor. You know, Hinson wanted a foul on a shot. Another Celtic wanted a foul. Here he comes right here. Now watch. McHale goes up and gets a beautiful piece of the ball. We have a foul here underneath the basket. That's number 1. Now what? And then Ray Williams gets fouled after he makes the pass. A good call by Jake O'Donnell.
McHale.
I want to tell you something. That was pivot play at its best. Mark West had Kevin McHale in a stranglehold. And Kevin McHale came at that with a beautiful baby hook.
Bird and McHale are carrying the Celtics offensively. 20 and 12 points respectively.
Well, when you look at their salaries, I think they're supposed to do that.
You know, mentioning the salaries of those 2 superstars. I'm talking to Red Auerbach yesterday. He said one of the things that's delighted him about both of them is that they took the big bucks, but instead of being satisfied, both of them have elevated their games just a notch. And it sets a great example for the rest of this organization. Especially Bird. When we were watching practice yesterday, Hubie, he gets done, and instead of going in, he goes upstairs here and starts running around the Boston Garden.
Well, it's nice as they're both fine young men. And they deserve everything because they do it under pressure. They get the job done, and they spearhead the Celtics night in and night out. Now, there's one place I like everything about Roy Hinson. I love everything about his game, his attitude towards the game. But if he has a weakness, it's right here. It's on the foul line. The other night he missed 5, and already today he's missed a couple.
McHale was fouled by West.
Well, McHale stepped into the lane and fought that, you know, very, very strongly. West denied that as best as he could. And Jake O'Donnell is a little feisty right now because McHale wanted it called earlier. But Jake did make the call, and I think he has every right, you know, to complain. Because let's face it, we as coaches and players have a tendency to show up to referees, and the majority of the times they're right.
And out of frustration, West picks up his 4th personal foul, which hurts the Cavaliers because they were ready to bring Turpin in anyhow after the 3rd. But he suddenly goes out there and foolishly picks up number 4, and now he's in danger of getting the technical.
Well, you know, this is his first time getting playing time in the playoffs. And he must understand that every point in a playoff game is magnified by the pressure of the moment. And unfortunately, you do not want to get branded as a guy who's going to complain about every call.
The Cavaliers could get a little rattled as this unfolds. Certainly there, they didn't show winning poise at all.
Yeah, but that's all right. You know, when you're young, you're trying to prove that you belong in the game. You do have a very feisty attitude and an aggressive and a little bit of arrogance because you want to show the big boys you're playing them even now. 2 games in a row, a game and a half in their gym.
Bagley gets through, and Hinson powers.
Well, that's what we have not seen until now on all of the clear-outs. Any shot which has been missed up until this time has not been put back off with an offensive rebound. I like the Celtic theory here in the last 4 minutes. They're getting the ball to Bird and forcing him to create the action.
Come turn around by McHale.
A lot of people might say, why is that a big issue? Because they're laying off the guards. They're not going to lay off a Larry Bird. That means that the low post man is not going to be double teamed.
Williams fouls free, reaching in.
Good shot! World's starting to open up right now, and I'll tell you, World is really one of the fine characters that we have in this league. He's an extremely exciting player. We give him that. But he has a bubbling personality. And for him to be thrust into this situation, all of this pressure to lead this club to victory, I feel a little badly for him because he's not feeling well, right? He has a bad groin pull, and anybody who's ever played the game of basketball knows how difficult it is to go stop and go, especially with his type of game.
Johnson. Hale all alone.
That time, the shot went up, and Turpin never put his body on McHale. As soon as that shot left Dennis Johnson's hand, McHale left Turpin standing at the foul line. Now, we just saw the first forced shot by World Free. But, like all the great scorers, Brent, he got fouled. They all have that ability to draw the foul.
And Carl is lecturing Turpin over on the side about not blocking out at the other end.
It's not who gets the bagels in the morning? No?
I don't think so, Coach. I think that's what he was telling Turpin all. A little 22nd timeout here. And he's still pointing out to Turpin what he has to do in case he has the champions at the other end. And, of course, coming up at our half, Pat O'Brien will have scores and highlights. But Dallas and Portland have been to 2 overtimes now, and you'll see how that game unfolded. Take a look at Michael Jordan, who'll be leading the Bulls against Milwaukee here on CBS tomorrow. Some superstitions. And, of course, we'll have a report, an update on Bernard Langer, who now has the lead down at the Heritage Classic. You have any superstitions, Coach?
Oh, I have many. I think that every coach does. I carry an object in my hand during the entire ball game. The entire 48 minutes of the game, I have the object in my hand.
How big an object is it?
Oh, no, it's something which I can engulf, and I feel it's a good luck piece, and I've always had it with me since I've been coaching.
But you're going to keep it a mystery as to what it is.
That's absolutely right.
All right. Here we are with the last minute 7, and Williams.
Pretty move by Ray. Ray is one of the very few guards in this league who, when he enters the lane, can make the shot with either hand. He has the baby hook shot, and that was Ray at his best.
Now, Carl, with 58 seconds, will try to put something together. Let's take a look at Williams.
Well, here you have a beautiful penetration. You'll see Cleveland rotates, but they don't get in front for the shot block. See, that time, Hinson tried to take it from the side, but then again, his foul trouble, had a little bearing on that move. If he already did not have as many at this time, I think he would have fronted Ray and definitely challenged him with a strong shot block. He did not want to pick up the next foul.
Change with regard to Hubbard in this game. He scored 10 points for the Cavaliers in the first quarter, and he has been scoreless here in the second, not on the floor even now. It's Turpin, Jones, and Hinson up front for Carl.
Ray is definitely putting his body on Bagley. He's going to try to make him earn everything. Now, on that baseline, every time that they run this set, they're trying to free either Edgar Jones or Phil Hubbard or Hinson on the baseline to post his man. But the Celtics are doing an excellent job in fighting the man coming across. Free froze Dennis Johnson that time with a head and ball fake into the pivot. Dennis thought that he might dump it down inside.
Williams.
Ray's feeling good right now, and he's on a roll. So, he's opening up now. He's starting to show you his bag of tricks.
Nobody over there.
World was affected by the double team, Brent. His vision to the basket was taken away, and he tried to force the pass. Unfortunately for him, Bagley had moved.
And he's having trouble with that power jump of his because of that injured groin, too.
This is a big play. There's the curl that hurt them the other night.
Miss. Free.
have
Jones
Kevin
and McHale.
Yes, indeed.
Just about ready to go at it. Jake O'Donnell's got a hand on Jones, holding him back. Now he's keeping McHale away.
See, Jake wanted to stop the action there, Brent. He felt that Cleveland was going to get the ball. Unfortunately, Middleton overrules him here because he was preoccupied with the potential fisticuffs between McHale and Jones at that time. Eddie Middleton had the call right here. He was close to the ball.
McHale wants it in behind Turpin, who got a hand on it.
Excellent defense by Turpin. Anticipated the lob pass.
We've come to the end of the first half with the Celtics leading 61-58. Pat O'Brien coming up now with scores and highlights of first-round playoff action. And we'll also have a report on the Heritage Golf Report. And the NBA on CBS will return after this message.
Now, once they went down inside, Hinson knows that he can take any of the Boston front court people off the dribble. That time, Boston, excellent defensive rotation, but you give up the offensive rebound.
McHale rejected by Hinson.
I think West might have even had a piece of that himself.
Hubbard missing. West. Curry. Clearing Bird and everyone else out of the way.
This game is not
Bird coming through, and Hinson with his second block in a row. And here comes free for the Cavaliers. Parrish off the miss.
That was beautiful rotation by Larry Bird. He definitely affected that shot.
McHale. And here's Bagley. Pull up. Bird. Parrish tracks it down.
This looks a little bit like a park run right now.
Hinson out to Bagley. Bird
3 on
shots
2.
it back. Ainge off the miss.
What a beautiful defensive play by Bird.
Bird.
Goaltending. Jake had it right from the rear. That was an excellent call. Hinson definitely touched that one as it was over the top. He definitely caught the front of the rim as the ball was coming from the glass into the rim. And Jake had it perfectly right from in front of us. And now Cleveland are going right at Larry Bird. Same game plan as quarter one.
Here's Bird.
What's interesting about that move, Brent, is that when he catches the ball, his body, the momentum, it's going away from the basket. You think that he's going to dribble the ball. He surprises you and releases the shot.
Loses Bagley and free for the layup.
Well, the Celtics consistently try to post Parrish anytime in rotation inside the dotted line in the lane.
Phoenix hanging tough against the Lakers.
That's all right. See, George is telling his team, relax, relax. We are giving them that shot. Anytime they post up, they must reverse the ball to the opposite side of the floor. He's willing to live with the guards making the shot. He had an offensive foul here down on the baseline. Bill Hubbard backpicked Larry Bird in the paint, and he caught him with a forearm right in the chest.
His fourth foul. Home with the NBA playoffs, and the Boston Celtics are attempting to become the first team since 1969 to win back-to-back championships. And right now, the foul situation, Hubie Brown, looks this way.
Well, you know, that's very important. Cleveland, except for one thing. They have so many guys up front that it really doesn't matter who they're rotating in except for Hinson.
Celtics lead it by 5. We've got 7:26 to go in the third, and Johnson missing.
But you see, Dennis is taking a shot, though, Brent. You know, as soon as they back off him, he's definitely showing, hey, I'm taking that shot.
3 gets inside, missing. Parrish looking outlet, and here's Johnson. 3 on 2. Johnson.
You know, that's Dennis's favorite spot, down on that baseline, medium, halfway between the basket and the corner. That is a very, very difficult shot. He made that look easy, but that's tough. That's a tough one to put down. This is interesting. World free.
Johnson
up Dennis Johnson.
It's missing. Bird rebounding, and here's Johnson. West deflects, and McHale reaching in on Henson. The loose ball foul is the call.
See, I think what George is trying to do, George Karl, coach of Cleveland, he's trying to get free in the action.
The game, Hubie and I will select the Light Beer Most Valuable Player, and in conjunction with the award, Light Beer from Miller will present a check for $1,000 to the National Multiple Sclerosis Foundation in that player's name. Larry Bird with a leg up, 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. Getting it back to free. Bird jumps out on him, and here's Henson.
Well, if they are going to post free on that low box and then rotate and cover all of the people, Henson must make that foul shot jumper because it's open. That's twice in a row they've run the play, and he has ended up with the shot on both occasions.
Parrish.
Henson could not play him any better. He was tight on his shoulder, and as Robert turned around for the shot, he was right there, extended himself, challenged him as best he could. Here we have a two-man game, Hubbard and Free. That was great extension. World just could not get that. He could not get the bank that he was looking for. He could not get the perfect angle.
And that's the 5th foul on West, so Turpin and Shelton will be the first one off.
That's all right. It's not going to affect the strategy of the game because, you know, he's expendable due to the fact that they can come with Shelton, they can come with Poquet or Turpin.
Parrish again. And Williams left alone, coming down the baseline.
That was excellent. That was Ray's 5th field goal. Ray is 5 for 7 in this game. And when you consider it, the rest of the guards are 3 for 13.
Hubie, how does it open up here for Williams?
Well, right now you'll see Bagley as Henson challenges Parris's shot on the right-hand side of the screen. We see Bagley turn his head and he loses concentration on Ray Williams. But most important, that was dangerous, but Ray took the chance. He saw that his man definitely lost him and did not put a body on him.
Williams with 10 points and 4 rebounds here this afternoon against the Cavaliers. He played well in game 1, too. Bagley comes right back with the field goal. Cavaliers, of course, are in a position where they cannot be exchanging field goals with the champions. They're going to need a little run here.
Well, this is critical
in the third.
Critical right now. They're 7 down, and they need some tough defensive pressure right now.
Free. They can put baskets back to back. Shelton. Missing. Off Henson, who had to turn around. Here come the Celtics.
Well, Lonnie Shelton's lack of mobility definitely affected that shot because I think if he had it back, he would have taken 2 dribbles and gotten off the shot at 15 feet. Here's the post-up that we saw so much in Game 1. Now, in Game 1, the Celtics posted up Free anywhere from 12 to 15 times during that ball game and made Free work extremely hard. Now, it's interesting because Dennis Johnson is struggling in this game. At halftime, Johnson was only 2 for 10 from the floor. And it's interesting that he came out in the second half and established, knocked down a few jump shots. And now that he's in kind of a little bit of a roll that they're going to take Free to the low baseline area. Situation here now. to get a one-on-one.
Bagley fires. Johnson with a hand. Williams save it. He does. Williams turning in quality minutes here in game 2. Going to Johnson.
Great pass. Excellent pass.
Cavaliers will have to regroup now, Hubie.
Oh, they need it. This was a definite timeout. Here comes Ray. Look at this off-the-dribble pass. It's a lost start today. There are very few guys who can make the pressure pass and thread a needle like we just saw there. Not only did he make the great defensive play at the end, getting the ball and getting it back in, but then also the beautiful play.
Get an update on Phoenix and the Lakers. 94-71. The Lakers have suddenly taken complete control of that game, but of course the Suns are so badly beaten up. They're the most injured team coming into the playoffs.
Well, it's difficult to play one of the best teams in basketball on their floor without all of your quality rebounding people.
Hinson.
See, I thought we'd see much more of that. They feel that Hinson can post any one of the Celtics in the lane area. That's the first time that they have gone to him in the paint, Brent. They're going Ray Williams versus Bagley in low now.
Dennis runs it down for the Celtics, and Bagley fouled it.
Well, we saw, first of all, the shot-blocking ability of Cleveland to double-team Ray as he beat his man off the dribble in the lane. But then we saw the mental toughness of Boston to get the ball back.
Bird coming.
Oh, my. The reason why that was so great, the back spin on the shot, but most of all, he had to go around and contend with the guy who was an excellent shot blocker. Cleveland must beware right now. There you go. They needed that one, Brent, to get it back to 9. Ray was just a little anxious there. He saw an opening up front, and he wanted to get the ball in a mismatch to the low box area where McHale definitely had a height advantage.
Davis will have to wait before he can check back in. On the turnover, the Cavaliers come back.
Now they're going to post Free again into the pick and roll. Now here comes Free on the baseline. Right there. See, when you have the feel, they just had a big mismatch. They had Dennis Johnson and Lonnie Shelton on a low hole. But when you're in the feel like Free is right now, he knows he's got to take that shot and put it down. People who are watching, you know, a lot of coaches look at that and say, wait a second, back it out, go right down inside, you have the mismatch. But, you know, when you're coaching a guy like Free, you have to give him that freedom.
Bird. Hale has it stripped by Davis.
Here we have 3 on 2.
3 in a row.
Oh, yes, he's on the roll.
Hale's alone. Free comes back, and McHale hits the layup.
You know what happened there? Every coach, see, George Carl feels bad about that because the last defensive player over half court should always hold up when you see a fast break ahead of you. And then if you shoot and score, you have the guy deep. And at that time, all of Cleveland went up front.
Free is now 9 of 20. Continues to lead the Cavaliers. Johnson. Shelton boarding.
Oh, they have it right here. Here it is.
Henson. And Williams came after him. Coquette. Back to 5.
Well, Coquette can make that stand-up jump shot, and I think everyone in the league knows that when he gets his hands spaced, you have to go and force him to put the ball down on the floor. But you know what I like? Cleveland is pushing that ball hard, Brent. The last 3 times down the floor, they had a big mismatch. 4 on 2 both times.
K.C. Jones and the Celtics, Hubie, over there in that huddle now. It looked as though they had opened up a pretty substantial lead. What must KC do now to get the momentum back? I'm not sure that the crowd here in Boston has really been into this playoff game like they sometimes are.
Well, you know, this is 2 games in a row that we've been talking about the crowd. And I think KC knows that any time that you're fluctuating with a lead consistently between 8 and, say, 11 or 12, your players have a tendency to relax and forget how they got there. And as soon as Cleveland showed that they were making a run, they cut it to 5 right here, 85-80. George Karl feels his club is coming strong right now. Casey must end that and grab a hold of this ball game.
A lot of people tell us that Larry Bird may be playing his best basketball yet in the NBA, and this is one of those moments. Why?
Well, you know, you look at him. See, anytime he takes that position, he freezes his man. Now, watch the reverse English on that ball. Now, that is extremely difficult to do because many times when you have your back to the baseline and you're bringing your arm out and putting the English, you put the wrong English on the ball, believe it or not. But more important, what made it so great was that Ben Poquet is one of the maybe top 10 or 11 shot blockers in this league.
Tomorrow, of course, you can see Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls against the Milwaukee Bucks, 1 p.m. Eastern time. That's game 2. The Bucks are already up a game. Or you will watch the Bullets, who trail the 76ers by a game. And, of course, then at halftime, you'll see highlights of the game you are not watching. It's 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Now, the Cavaliers, in the last 3 minutes, have a 10-4 run working, and that has put them right back in this.
Well, if you go back and think about their last 5 possessions of the Celtics, nothing is down in low. Everything has been terrific. They're going to pop Bird out on a one-on-one on Poquet.
Offensive foul.
Yes, sir. Excellent position. Great anticipation by Poquet. Bird knew it. Larry knew it. Seconds to go in this quarter, and this is a big possession for Cleveland. Pick and roll, back pick right there that isolates 3. 5 seconds. Oh, big basket by Lonnie. Big basket. And you know what? McHale kind of fell asleep on him that time. He kind of like wheeled his way right in there.
Of George Karl over there warning his defense what to watch out for as the Celtics go for the last shot. And here comes Bird. Poquet got a hand on it.
You know, we've been saying all game long, Cleveland can really block shots. Then Poquet played Larry Bird perfectly. Now, they have 0 seconds on a shot clock and 2 seconds on a regular clock. This doesn't make sense due to the fact that they had possession with 19 seconds to go.
The end of the 3rd period with the score, Boston 85 and Cleveland 82. Now we're going to return for the 4th period after these messages from your local station. Back for the final 12 minutes with the Boston Celtics leading the Cleveland Cavaliers 85-82. I'm Brent Musburger along with Hubie Brown. The Celtics lead this best-of-5 game series, 1 victory to none. The action moves next week to Cleveland. Games 3 and 4, and of course we'll be back here for a 5th game if it goes that far. Wedman, Williams, McHale, Parrish, and Bird on the floor. Wedman goes crashing down. The ball goes over to the Cavaliers, who have Davis, Free, Turpin, Shelton, and Poquet going.
Well, I'd say I think it's interesting how Cleveland has taken Kevin McHale out of this ball game in shot attempts the second half.
Here's Shelton jumping up short that time. McHale rebounding. Here's Williams.
Now, poor shot selection, but once again, interesting that they're going at Larry Bird in a post-up situation.
Parrish, Davis, quickly.
Beautiful double team. Turpin got his hand on that one first.
Poquet missing. Shelton almost tapped it back in, reaches up on Parrish, and the Celts come down with that 3-point lead.
McHale has only 2 shot opportunities in the second half.
Parrish was left open and didn't realize it. 3. Taps it out of bounds, and it goes over, and he just does not have the touch.
Well, World is a little discouraged because he's 9 for 21 right now, and George is going to give him a little rest. That was a 3-on-2, and I think they might have wanted a shot a little closer to the basket on that one.
So it'll be Bagley and Davis. It is a small backcourt.
Now you see, now that is an illegal defense. Now you see, you cannot front and back a post-up player if he does not have the ball. Now in that situation, Johnny Davis came from the top and went all the way down and fronted Kevin McHale.
Wedman runs it down, comes baseline.
Oh, great move by Scott. And a strong move to the basket.
Davis. Coquette.
That's Coquette's shot. When he gets in that position, you have to run at him, and you must force him to put the ball on the floor.
Coquette dueling Bird. Williams comes inside. Shelton went up, and Ray drew the foul.
Well, Lonnie knew that he got the ball, but he also picked off a piece of Ray with the lower part of his body. And that was a good challenge, though. He did an excellent job in rotating. Consistently in the 80s.
Turpin. And that is the second foul on Williams. He's got a timeout. When you come back, we'll have 9:51.
Giving that extra effort makes winners. The All-You-Can-Be, sponsored by the U.S. Army. While New Jersey's Buck Williams doesn't enjoy the fame of some of his NBA rivals, the young power forward already stands as one of the game's most valuable players. A standout on defense, Williams can also provide the clutch hoop at the other end. But what Buck does best is crash the boards, ranking among basketball's best rebounders, doing whatever it takes to come out on top. Buck Williams strives to be the best he can be.
Superb job with that Milwaukee Buck team, hasn't he?
Oh, absolutely. And it's a team that believes in its style of play and also the coach.
Hubie, let's take a look at this illegal defense involving Johnny Davis.
Well, for our fans, you are not allowed, as the ball is advanced there by Ray Williams, you'll see that he will advance the basketball. You'll see Johnny Davis drop all the way back. Now, that is illegal. Now, he must stay in. He must come back and get out of that area within a 2.9 count. You are not allowed to front and back a post-up player who does not have the basketball.
9:51 to go. It is 89-84 for the Celtics, who lead in this series. One victory to none. They won the opening game, 126-123. This is Mel Turpin, rookie out of Kentucky, at the free throw line for the Cavaliers, who have shot 12 of 16 for the line. Now 12 of 17. Casey Jones' team, on the other hand, has hit 17 of 19.
Well, a big factor in game one was the Celtics from the foul line were 35 to 39, missed 4. Cleveland 17 for 27, missed 10 foul shots. We're seeing the same thing happen again. KC has gone to naturally Scott Wedman playing second guard and forcing the mismatch. They're trying needed to get up in here, Johnny Davis with a bigger player so that they would take him one-on-one. Celtics excellent defense.
Davis. Celtics cannot shake the Cavaliers.
Well, Celtics are going to the Chief.
Wedman. Turpin.
There it is, 2-on-1.
Bagley and Bird is back. Davis comes inside. Missing. Williams rebound.
I thought Bird might have gotten a piece of that shot. Oh, yes. Yes, yes. What an unselfish pass. Bird definitely had a shot of his own, and he handed back into the lane. Beautiful peripheral vision.
Coquette.
Ben's 3 for 3 from the baseline. Keeping this one close. We're in a 4-pointer with 8:20 to go.
You're getting hoarse and you're not even coaching. Jump pass to Williams.
Now, that time we had a double team. When the double team happened, Ray Williams went backdoor. Unfortunately for Cleveland, the big men did not pick him up in the lane.
Shelton. And McHale was all over him.
Well, McHale took him out of his range in regards to the fact that range meaning that he could not make a strong move to the basket. He was off balance, and from that angle, he could not get up a good percentage shot.
They keep it. And Henson returning for the Cavaliers, and Johnson coming back for the Celtics.
Well, they're giving Bird a rest right now with 7:28 to go. Ray's looking to go to McHale versus Lonnie Shelton. There's the double team again. There's your 2-pass rotation. Yes. Anytime that a team double teams you in the post, the first pass they'll cover, you must make the second pass. And the Celtics are showing us excellent ball movement.
He won a golf tournament coming from behind, as he did last Sunday when he wore down Curtis Strange in the Masters. But can he hold on? Well, you'll find out tomorrow, the final round of the Heritage here on CBS.
Right now, we're going to show you the beautiful feed by Bird. Now, Ray gives it up. Now, here it is right there. Excellent. That's great team play. And most of all, when you're playing with unselfish people, your players will always run the lanes hard if they know that they're going to get the pass when they're open.
Bird with 6 assists. That doubles his output in game 1. 28 points on 13 of 23. And he's also yanked down 11 rebounds. Davis inside. Score it, and he'll shoot a free throw.
Now the Celtics insist on switching off of this pick and roll. Now McHale switched out on Johnny Davis. This is a mismatch. Johnny Davis is going to beat him off the dribble. On the roll, Shelton is matched up with Dennis Johnson. So Cleveland had that one both ways. Up, here's the press. We haven't seen it since the first quarter. Oh, might have gotten away with a travel right there. That was close. That's the first time now that they've showed us the 2-2 trap at three-quarter court. Oh, there's a strong post up by Parrish on Hinson.
Williams gets it back to Parrish, has it knocked free by Bagley.
Oh, that was beautiful hands. Doubling back by John Bagley. Parrish definitely would have gotten that shot off, Brent.
And on the turnover, it goes to the Cavaliers. Davis spins inside, dishes Shelton.
It's the first time that Davis has gone baseline off the pick and roll. We're back now, 3-point game, 6:19 to go. Well, they're playing 2-man on the baseline. They're trying to have Wedman post up Poquette.
Parrish, it's short. Shelton goes to Davis. Cavaliers can ease to within 1 on this shot. Missing. And it'll be Williams.
Bagley couldn't miss a shot, Brent, in game one. And unfortunately for Cleveland, he just cannot seem to put down the long jumper tonight.
Got a timeout. 5:49 remaining. Bulls, game 2 in their playoff against Sidney Moncrief and the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks won game 1. And if you're not seeing that game, well, then the rest of you will watch Billy Cunningham and the Philadelphia 76ers attempt to move up by 2 on Gene Shue and the Washington Bullets. Kevin Lockery trying to win a playoff game. Normally he's on the sidelines when the playoffs begin, but Jordan helped turn that team around, and this is an important series.
Oh, they're very exciting, Brent. One of the truly spectacular teams. When you watch them in a half, they do more how should I say, fan enthusiastic, spectacular plays than anybody in basketball, anyone else.
Speaking of spectacular plays, look who's back, and Poquette rejects Bird's shot.
Does it again. I have to give Poquette a lot of credit now. He's blocked 3 of Bird's shots today.
Bagley moves it to Shelton. Poor slopping.
Very poor pass. You know what was interesting? Hinson wasn't open, and that was a forced pass. I'm going to give you a great stat. The Boston Celtics in the second half have 8 turnovers. 8 turnovers, which has allowed them to come back. Strong move by Robert. That's his pet move. Poquette was just a shade late coming for the shot clock. Davis was freed that time by an unselfish body pick by Lonnie Shelton. He really stepped in there and put his body strong on the guard who was playing him at the time.
There's Bird. Hale can't handle. And these pesky Cavaliers can again come to within 1 if Davis hits.
That's his shot.
All alone missed. Williams coming back for the Celtics. Cavaliers have wasted some opportunities here. McHale missing.
McHale was looking for the push by Shelton in the lower back.
Poquette from that spot.
4 for 4.
And it's a 1-point game at the 4:03 mark. And Carl, we're going to send Hubbard back. Johnson.
Bagley came to double team, but it was a little too late. You know, Johnny Davis has given Dennis Johnson at least 4 inches.
Shelton.
Well, McHale got a piece of that one, and he also disturbed him by challenging the shot and releasing on the fast break. And that definitely disturbed the concentration of Shelton on that shot.
Carl with a timeout for the Cavaliers. And World be free. He'll check back into their lineup. One problem, Hubie Brown, in that McHale has been taken out by Shelton, but on the other hand, Shelton's getting a lot of shots for the Cavaliers, and so they've taken him off the floor now.
Well, Shelton has been 3 for 8, and, you know, unfortunately, he just can't get it to drop. Here we have a defensive call here. You know, fortunately, it's not a penalty situation. All Hubbard was doing was trying to make a strong stand with his leg in the back of Larry Bird. Naturally, he did not want Bird to take him off a spin dribble.
5 fouls on Hubbard. They go into McHale. Poquette has moved over on him. Might have got a bit of a finger on that, too. Poquette is an excellent defensive player.
Well, George made the decision that, you know, we're going to go with Hubbard over Shelton, and we feel that Poquette can play McHale as strongly as Shelton did.
Bagley. You know, McHale had 17 points in the first half and only 2 points here in the second half. He's been held to 1 of 4. Celts lead by a point, and he's going to be a big man. He and Larry Bird will carry.
2-man game.
Missing will be free, and the Cavaliers can go ahead.
They have a 4-on-3 here.
Poquette. 3 gets it, comes up. McHale with the foul. He may have had all ball, but free
got him with his body there, and that was a smart move by Free. Here we have Free coming in. Now Kevin coming over the top. You can see the left hand is right down on Free's hip and pushed them off.
I thought that was legal in this one.
No, well, we do say this is a non-contact sport.
Tied at 101. 2:20 to go here in regulation.
This has been a long climb. Remember, they were 11 down, and people were going to sleep and counting them out. But this is the second game in a row that they have come back from a big deficit.
Johnson, short. Parrish to Johnson on the save. They get it into Bird. And Bird puts the Celtics ahead at the 2-minute mark.
Strong move by Larry up over the top of Poquet. Poquet was falling backwards. That's why he couldn't get up to challenge that one.
The Garden is alive now.
They're going two-man.
Hinson.
Yes, he did. Robert Parrish played Hinson extremely well with his body. Parrish forced Hinson to pick up his dribble, and Hinson was not close enough to go for the slam dunk, which he did 5 times in game 1.
Boston Garden. I'm Brent Musburger, along with Hubie Brown. That's our situation. The Cavaliers have outscored the Celtics 13-6 in the last 5.5 minutes. Timeout situation looks like this, Coach.
Cleveland, is in excellent shape here right now. How many people honestly thought that they could do it back-to-back? 2 games in a row, played them in a nail-biter. But more important, come back heavily down in both games in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
The difference has been Larry Bird.
Now watch Bird's move. See, Poquet was falling backwards. He could not get the strength to get up and challenge that shot. Bird moved him back with the lower part of his body. Well, they're putting Bird and Robert Parrish on. Here's a baseline pitch for Bird, forcing a switch.
Shelton, Bagley dropping back. Shelton comes out with him on a hand. Loose. McHale.
Oh, and they get the bounce. Big play. George Karl does not advocate taking timeouts at this time. He believes that if his team is well-schooled, they know what to do, and they'll run the play that he wants.
Poquet spot at the baseline.
There he is. Give him a lot of credit. Ben is taking a big shot today. He's had an awful lot of pressure shots.
Inside of a minute.
We're going to have 2-man right here, Parrish and Bird. There he is, wide open. Again, Brent, anytime that a player gets double-teamed on the low post area, the first pass is usually covered. Parrish passed outside, the defense rotated. Unfortunately, the Celtics are outstanding in rotating the second pass to the opposite side of the floor. If Danny Ainge is going to take a shot under pressure, that's the one you want him to take. A stand-up shot where he's not going off the dribble from that area of the floor.
Only his second field goal of the game. Cavaliers had the man they wanted taking the shot, but true to the Celtics, they knocked it down at the right time.
Yeah, but you see, if I'm Casey Jones, I say, I want Danny Ainge to take that shot. He's made that shot for me all year long. If we make that ball rotation, I know that he is not going to hesitate on that shot. Versus rotating the ball to another player who might say, I might take that shot, see if I'm played, maybe look down inside. That's beautiful. They do this as well as any team in basketball.
45 seconds to go. It's a 3-point lead. You've got World B free over there. Do you go to the three-pointer?
It just depends upon the coach. There are an awful lot of coaches who believe go to the three-pointer outside of 2 minutes and keep going to it. There are a lot of people in this situation. You got your option. If you feel, now right now, 45 seconds, we could possibly get 2 possessions here. Shoot, force the Celtics to shoot and get another shot. Why shoot a 3? There are some other coaches that say, we'll look for the 3. Don't be afraid to take this 3. We'll look for a 2, but maybe kick out for a 3. We're on the road. We want to get the lead. Let's see what Carl does.
3 goes in low, comes back out, and Dennis Johnson all over it.
This is definitely a 2-man play, 2-point play. 5 seconds to go.
Henson maneuvering, comes inside, and hits the field goal. 22 seconds to go.
You talk about a strong move under pressure.
3 tries to draw the charge, doesn't.
They get the foul. Henson on Parrish. George Karl was up, running down the sideline. He checked. They tried for a steal, played the ball strong. All right, now with the foul, out on the side. He's looking for quick foul. What he's forcing here now is he's forcing the Celtics to make 2 shots. If they make one of the 2, he's only down 2 points. If they make 2 out of 2, he's still only down 3, and he has a few very, very good 3-point shooters and one of the best in world free.
Danny Ainge is the Mr. Clutch of the closing seconds of this game, but he misses that one. They've got 11 seconds. They call a quick timeout, clock down to 10, and now they'll shoot for the tie, and we could have an overtime in the Boston.
George Karl and his team are looking very good right now. They're milking the strategy, and you have to like it. Here's a young fella. He's a rookie coach in the league. He coached 3 years in the Continental Basketball League and was voted Coach of the Year twice. You don't get to be Coach of the Year unless you do something right. He's a player who was in the old ABA with San Antonio and then in the NBA for a total of 5 years. Was Doug Moe's assistant down in San Antonio. And it's nice to see him because you can see he has contagiously sent his confidence as a feisty player into his basketball team. And most important, they play a smart brand of basketball.
They didn't have his offense for this last shot.
They deny it. All I want, man, I want over the top. We're just breaking into the 3 on the next ball and out of the stuff. Okay? Another thing is, back, go get the ball. When you get the ball, world, you're going down and you're going to get down right there. Okay, that's our first option. The second option is, now, man, you got to sprint. Back to the ball. You're going to come down right here. Man, you're going to come down and you're going to kind of like run a curl for a bump right to the paint. And back, we don't have that. Penetrate. Go catch the ball there. All the options. World is going on 2-man game. 2-man game. Then we got the ball not hungry. You're going to come off the bench.
All right, his first option that George is going to look for is World coming off on the right-hand side of the floor into a 2-man game. His second option is going to be to the opposite side of the floor for a curl for one of his forwards. Now, they are definitely looking for a 2. If they accidentally get the 3, it's because everything else broke down.
Boston with only 3 team fouls here in this quarter.
All right, there's 3 off the baseline, not open. Hubbard on a roll, not open, but Ainge with the push-off on Bagley. Coming with the dribble. Now, it is not the penalty. That was an extremely smart foul. We have 3 seconds left. There it is.
Boston wins.
seconds ago here, George knew what he wanted. He was looking for a set three-point play or World 3 on the baseline. Now you say, well, that was a tough shot. For all of us who have seen World play, he makes that an awful lot during the course of the year.
So we'll come right back here to the Boston Garden, where Carl and the Cavaliers have lost a tough one. We'll return in just a moment.